presentation from NEW, from the New Economic Evolution of the World and the Academy of a Private Investor. It's great to see people on here tonight. If you've got any questions, pop them in the chat. We're happy to take them after the presentation. This evening, we've got Jacqueline, who is also on the Local Leadership Council for the UK, and also Magda, who is also on the UK Local Leadership Council, as well as myself. I'm going to go straight into it because we don't want to delay people's evenings too much. But at the end of this presentation, where we normally do the 8 rules of a private investor, we're going to have something a little bit different for you, and I'll explain that towards the end of the presentation. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Jacqueline to you, and Jacqueline will explain to you more about herself and how she came to be involved in this company. Okay, over to you, Jacqueline.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just want to say that it's great to have you all here, and we're going to be talking about the new economic evolution of the world: study, invest, and prosper. What I would like to say first, sorry, let me just get to my screen. Hang on, sorry, I can't find my mouse. Where's it gone? Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get this. Right, hold on 1 second. Sorry, just get this. Just need to close that out. Okay, sorry about that. I just had to get the screenshots out the way. Right, so you'll hear, this is our compliance and risk disclaimer. You'll hear terms like EIP, which is educational informational products, MLCI, multi-level crowd investing, and CRU, CryptoUnit, internal points for tokens, digital stock analogy. Please note, we do not sell and do not have a license to sell shares or tokens. All countries have their own rules for the sale of financial products, and we comply with the laws of the country. Most countries allow the sale of information products without a special license. We offer the opportunity to participate in wealth building training, which provides the fundamental principles on which wealth is created and maintained. We do not provide financial or investment consultations. Please do your own due diligence or request confirmation from a licensed accountant or financial advisor in your area for compliance with the requirements in your state country. So our meeting program will be, part 1 of the meeting will be about investment thinking, the Academy of the Private Investor, and the role of financial literacy. And then we move on to the VIP Club of a Private Investor, growth prospects, bonuses for participants of the club, and global crew portfolio. And we move on then to multi-level crowd investing, the MLCI business trainings for partners, and the new economic evolution of the world, which is what NEEW stands for, and plans of the company. My name is Jacqueline Burrows, and I'm here this evening with you. Just put down my little bits here. I'm a member of the UK Leaders Council, like Gail said. I'm a new consultant, Master Profi graduate. That was a very intensive 3-day course where we did very interesting exercise and discussed all about financial literacy and to do with the 8th wonder of the world, which is compounding, which we do on Thursdays, or we sometimes may do it on Thursdays. We sometimes change up our schedule, so look out for that when we do it, because it's a really good session to attend and understand how that works. I'm an entrepreneur. I have been with an entrepreneurial spirit from quite a young age. I used to try and do my own market stalls and have people working for me and designing things, and it's very hard, and getting up early and setting things up. So I had that sort of drive and interest from quite a young age, and there wasn't really any guidance. I was just doing my own thing. I've come into this organization, which has led me on to being a private investor. From about 2018, I was introduced to sort of presentation, but it was to do with innovative transport technology. That's how I came into know about NEW. So via that, I came through investing in something else, and this was opened up to me. I didn't realize at the time how huge this would be and how amazing and how life-changing this would be. So that has been my journey through just trying different things for myself, and then being exposed to this, becoming through entrepreneurship and into private investment. And having stepped my foot into the private investment world, I've started to learn more about it, much more better understanding, where we have to learn about things called the 8 rules of a private investor. And these are things that we talk about on some of our sessions here in the week, and you look out for when we do them, which is what is underpinning how you approach yourself and how you sort of look at investments in order to do it correctly and in the proper way, to make sure that you actually make some money on returns for your investment. So we'll talk more about that later on as we go through this evening. I have a background of nursing, which is tied up as well with teaching and mentorship. So I've qualified as a teacher and a mentor, and that's helped me in my nursing skill. So my background coming from the clinical side, there wasn't any need that I thought to do investments. We were doing that. But I've worked in the NHS and the corporate world, and 2 very different structures. And the corporate world make you work harder for less. So it's very good to come out of that and to try and be your own boss and take charge of your own train and change your destination. It's very hard, but it's a challenge that's worth taking and rewarding in the end. So that's me, and I'm glad to be here. So I'm going to start. So the Academy of the Private Investor, as Gail said at the very beginning, it's founded in 2011 and by a gentleman called Andre Hovrato, who's in the middle there in a blue suit in the picture. It has more than 1,300,000 users from all over 176 countries, and we have more now, actually, over 1.4 million now. So it's growing all the time. We're growing at an amazing rate. Practical studies in areas of finance, investment and personal growth is what we are trying to promote and engender among the population in the world. We have many teachers with up to 23 years of experience in our organization in investment and finance fields. We have real case studies. You'll see as we go through their stories, and they're real people, all the pictures of people, they are actually in the organization. Real case studies, group lessons, individual coaching and mentoring. And it's very important that we do provide the coaching and the mentoring, because when you step into something like this, if you have no idea and it's all quite worrying, you hear the word investment and you think, oh my goodness, I don't think this is, I don't know if I can handle this. It's all a bit scary, but there are a lot of people here who've been in the same shoes as you. A lot of people who've had to find their way and be supported. So that's what we're here to do. There's so many of us now that you will be supported. And we have a global online portal with 9 years of expertise. So we are on our way, and we'd like you to come with us. So investment thinking. So some of you will think investment thinking, as I said, may be very big and scary. Some of you on here may, yes, be already investors. So everybody has their own way of approaching investment thinking, but this is what we are going to look at. So we have here a gentleman called Robert Kiyosaki. Those of you who don't know about him, I really recommend that you look him up. And we do talk about him because his life it can be relevant to many people. When he was growing up, and his father was a very educated person in the university, had his degrees and was a lecturer, etc. They never seemed to have much money. When I say much money, he had his salary, but when the bills were paid, there wasn't a lot of cash flow. And his father would always say that he didn't have enough money. But Robert had a friend whose father was in business, who didn't have the qualifications that his father had, but they seemed to have cash flow and were doing very well, and his father was acquiring a lot of business ventures. And Robert decided to ask his friend's father, well, how did he do this? Because his dad was very qualified and they should be living a much better, higher standard life than they were. And then through questioning his friend's father and getting to know about him in business and how he saw the world and how he understood about money and money flow, Robert realized that it's not always just to go and just get the type of education that was given to you at the time. It's about actually understanding how money works and how the world flows with money. So he wrote this book, which is, well, he wrote many books, but one of the books is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is quite a pinnacle book, and I recommend you read it if you haven't read it. So as you know, when we go to school and we're growing up, we are all really taught how to go to work and earn money, and that's it. And you look, if you can, towards for your pension, and then you retire. But these days, people find they're working longer and longer, and the pension seems to be that carrot on the stick that's getting further and further and further away. And you think, well, when am I going to get to that carrot? Because it seems to be disappearing further into existence. And that is how it is actually happening. So if we look at this diagram here called the cash flow quadrant, quadrant meaning 4, so we have 4 sections. Let's look on the left. The left side, we have working. Top one here, you have a job. Many people have a job. As I said, they're working 9 to 5 or shift work, and that's it. But if you are dependent on your job for your main source of income, and as you know, we all know what's been happening since March now, it's been going for quite a few months. Many people are still wondering if they have a job, it's their main source of income, how they're going to survive when all the payments are stopping, what are they going to do? So this is one part that quite a lot of people are in that section. Then we have the entrepreneur. So you could say entrepreneur, great, I work for myself. I don't have to rely on, you know, somebody telling me where to go, what to do, what I'm worth, etc. I decide that for myself. I'm my own boss. But being an entrepreneur is very hard work. You have to be disciplined. You have to, you're the driving force for everything. If you don't do it, it doesn't happen. You have to make it happen. So there's a lot of pressure on you. If you're not doing it, is it going to be happening? If you're ill, will you get sick leave, sick pay? If you want to go on holidays, will you get paid? So although it's really great, one step up, it's still quite hard work, and it depends on you. So when we go over to the right side of the quadrant, we have the businessman. You own a business and people work for you. And I, having been in that situation myself in a family business, we were very responsible. It was looking after other people. It was a massive enterprise. We had to have certain regulations and policies in place. They always had to be updated. You had building regulations, you had inspections, you had staff to manage, rotas, you know, health and safety. It's quite onerous. And if people didn't show up on the business, it was down to you. If you didn't maintain that, then the possibility you could lose your license or your business. So therefore, there's still a lot of risk. Sometimes if you're not there, the business doesn't run. That can't be good as well. And then we have investor, money working for you. Now, I'm sure a lot of people would like the idea of money going to work for you, because I know I like the idea of that. And getting involved in investing and taking on this investment journey, you start to realize actually that money working for you is the best use of your time. It's better leverage. It actually allows you to have a little bit more financial freedom. If you have more than one income stream working for you, you're sort of insured against certain eventualities. So if I press this next button here, you'll see that 10% of the money is owned by 90% of the people. And this is why it's on the left side here, because we're going to work and just earning, and the big corporations or the bosses, they have the wealth. We are just getting the salary, and we have to do that and pay your expenses out of that. On the right side here, 90% of the money is owned by 10% of the people. And this really has to take stock of this equation. And we would like, as NEW, to try and shift that balance so that 90% by 10%, that 10% is going to get bigger and bigger. So what we would ideally like to do is educate 15% at least of the population around the world in the terms of financial literacy. So we have this map of the world, all these beautiful colors here. But if you look deep at the colors, you'll see that it's not so pretty when you look closer. And when you find that the blue, the dark blue, is where 71% and more of the adults who are financially literate. But if you look in the pink, which is the larger colors, in the peach and the orange, less than 50% of the adults globally are financially literate. Let's read you a little bit about this survey that was done. Actually, I found it quite interesting. It was done in 2018. It was a global financial literacy survey, and S&P, Standard & Poor, the world's largest, most comprehensive global. They did this of Standard & Poor. They did this huge global measurement of financial literacy, and the survey that they did here was based on interviews with more than 150,000 adults in over 140 countries. And it tested knowledge of 4 basic financial concepts. So inflation, numeracy, risk, diversification, and interest compounding. And you can find this survey on the internet if you look. But in the main, the highlights were about low levels of financial literacy around the world. So that inflation was not understood as a concept. I should say inflation, sorry, was understood as a concept. And risk diversification and interest compounding was the least understood. So people's thinking was geared up to not understand how to actually attract wealth and how to make wealth, is what I'm really trying to say with the survey that was done. But we have a solution, and we look at personal growth, investment courses, and business education through training courses aimed at self-development, goal setting and planning, improving financial literacy, formation of investment thinking, learning different business building methods and strategies. Right, so we have a gallery here of many pictures of many people. And I'd like to say these people actually do exist in our organization. We haven't just got a photo album of happy people. There are people that are in our organization. We have another slide with many, many people here. But on this slide, I know some of the people here, like Magda, who's here tonight, Gail, who's here tonight, Blaze works with us and does presentations as well. And there's all sorts of people, Galina, all sorts of people that are in the organization, many of whom I've met. And this slide as well, see, we have many, many more. As I said, there's over 1.4 million in our organization, and everybody has a story to tell here. They've all come from somewhere in their life. They're all different walks of life. So I'm just going to read you the story of just one person. I mentioned a lady called Galina. She's originally from Latvia and she lives in Spain, Barcelona. And she received a secondary education and worked for almost 14 years at the bar industry in London, Dubai, and Spain. And she speaks 3 languages, English, Russian, and Spanish. So she's a very, very well-educated lady. In 2016, she came across the Academy of the Private Investors, which we mentioned just now. After finishing the first course, Master Profit, she received reliable tools to increase her capital, and she's constantly studying at the Academy. Galina improves her knowledge and practice, and thanks to education she received in the Academy over 4 years, she's become a certified master coach, mentor in the Academy for the marathons, and an international speaker. And she has spoken to 17,000 people at least. And she's a Spanish company coordinator and a private investor. And there are many stories like that in our organization of people who have come through, who've realized that this equation of 90%, you know, of the wealth being owned by 10%, that this is the reason why it's like that. We don't have the understanding as we should have about financial literacy. So now I move on to the VIP club of a private investor. Now, VIP, very important person. It's not really about a very important person coming to the club. It's about made to feel like a very important person. So I'm sure there are many of you on here that can identify with if you're given some benefits or extra advantages and you'll be made to feel like a VIP, you do actually feel different. And I always tend to give the example of in the airports, if you go in the lounge and you can relax and you have the TV going and all the food is laid out for you and it's all part of the package, you don't have to pay and you can sit there and everybody's chatting, you've got lovely views and it makes you feel different. Or you can, you know, have extra, some people have treatments and things like that and spa treatments before they get on the aeroplanes, but it's all part of feeling really special and really treated nicely. Now, some of the rates or the membership fees for these sort of things can range from 5,000, 20,000, as far as 250,000, depending on where your VIP experience is going to be. But here at our organization, at New Economic Evolution of the World, you can be a VIP for as little as $10 and still be treated as a very important person and still get the benefits and the advantages of being a VIP person. So learn how the knowledge you get at the academy provides a result in practice. Through being a VIP, you belong to an elite club. There are discounts on the products up to 75%, exclusive offers, access to the CryptoUnit program and its bonuses, participation in closed monthly meetings, and additional income streams. Now, just to go on that before I touch on those points before we move on. As I said, we look and we're really into financially getting everybody up to a good level of financial understanding so that you understand how the financial markets work, how you can improve your standing in life and improve your income streams. So when we talk about all our discounts on our products and exclusive offers, we're talking about all our financial education products, which I'll show you on the next slide. And that is what we are referring to. And we have access to the CryptoUnit program, and we're going to talk about more about the CryptoUnit program further on as well, and its bonuses. So our CEO, he loves to give bonuses, and so we in this organization, we'll look in our back offices and we'll see bonuses appearing from nowhere. And we think, oh my goodness, another one. And that adds onto what I'm going to talk about later on. Additional income streams. Today, in this world that we're living in, it's not a luxury anymore to have additional income streams. The world of the rich, they would be used to that. That's part of their vocabulary. We need to get used to having that in our vocabulary about additional income streams and start to see it as the norm, or I should say the new norm, where you have more than one, so that you have this situation where you're almost balanced. Something's coming here, something's coming there. So you're not concerned and stressed and worried that if this one source, your job disappears tomorrow, that you'll be able to survive. And when we have participation in closed monthly meetings, that's part of being a VIP, that we discuss the ventures we're doing, the contracts we have, what is happening, where the money is going, how it's being spent, the returns on investment. There are some organizations where you don't even get that, even if you are part of the organization. And Warren Buffett, if you're not sure about Warren Buffett, if you haven't heard about him, I recommend looking him up. He's the world's best known investor. Warren Buffett, you have to pay over $300,000 just to be part of his portfolio, Berkshire Hathaway. And you will only get reports on a certain day about some of the things that they're doing with their portfolio. So when I was talking about our education, financial products, these are sort of things that I'm talking about. And when we were saying EIP at the beginning of the presentation, EIP stands for Education Information Products, as we said. So these are the EIPs here. So we have things like foundational investing. When I mentioned, remember, 8 rules of a private investor, when I came into NEW and started to learn about this, this is what is the foundation that underpins all of how you approach being an investor. Foundations of capitalization, the 8th wonder of the world, how to turn $1 into 1 million. And it's doable. This is not fiction, this is all fact. So it's really worth getting these courses. And we have different types, as you can see the ticks relevant to the different courses, and you can pick which one you think would suit you, whether you to join us. So for instance, we have the EIP beginner here. Being a VIP, you have great discounts, 50 units instead of 200. And we have the next one, 250 instead of 825, and so on, right up to $10,000 package, which would have cost $12,725. And when I say dollar and you see UNT, that we have units, it is actually transferable as dollars. So we say 50 units, but it actually means $50. And at the bottom, on the strip there, plus crew bonus with each purchase. As a thank you for taking ownership of actually educating yourself, we actually award you with a crew bonus for each purchase. And we also offer installments as well. So some people, they want to take larger packages, but we do installment deals, so that when you come to decide what you want to do, you'll see the installments and you'll decide what's best for you, installment or to pay it in full. So the CryptoUnit. I've mentioned that now a few times. So this is it revealed in all its glory. Our beautiful symbol there, crypto. That's the clue unit. And we use that sometimes when we talk about the dollars, but this is a crypto unit. That's what we call it. Now we launched 30th of March, 2019, and it was very successful. It just, in 72 hours, our first launch, just all the units that we put out there just disappeared. It just, everybody was so happy to have them. So we had to bring our second stage forward to the 3rd of April in order to compensate for so much demand. And this is just a roadmap really of where we're heading towards. And the roadmap has actually even extended further than we've got here. So eventually we'll be adding more and more things to this. But we, on the 8th of May, on the roadmap, we accrued our first loyalty, LPB loyalty bonus, and we get that every single month. So that's what it is, a loyalty bonus. And our CEO is very happy to pay that every month. And we've transitioned along the stages as we go along. 30th of November, we had a first accrual of the Profi bonus. And we'll talk about this in a while about the portfolio. We get profits from our portfolio every month. So that's started on 30th of November. And then we've transitioned now to Ethereum blockchain on the 15th of January. So as we are in crypto, what was decided that in order for people to see what we are about and for us to be transparent, so people wouldn't think, oh, they've got our crypto, what's happening, it's all behind closed doors. We launched it on the Ethereum blockchain, so it's transparent, you can see what it is, and it's there so people know that it exists and it can't be tampered with or altered. And that's very important, so that you know that it's secure and transparent. On the 9th of March, the internal crew exchange was launched. We are transitioning out of now stage 2, part 2 into stage 2, part 3 on the 31st of July. And we are looking to launch our own external exchange by the end of the year, before the end of the year. So things are really moving, guys. I'm sure you, if you see what I'm saying here, it's really exciting, and it's a fast moving company, and we're for the future. And now I'd like to pass you over to Magda. Magda is a member also of the Local Leadership Council. She is an amazing stalwart person in our company. She's passionate. She is very knowledgeable. She has a huge team underneath her. She's very well respected. And Magda is someone I've known for a while now, and I absolutely love hearing her talk and hearing the knowledge that she imparts to us, and you'll hear from how she talks of her experience. So I am happy to hand you over to one of my colleagues, Magda.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Gosh, what an introduction. Okay, so I will leave it to you to change your slides.
I will, yes.
Well, don't know who knows me or who doesn't yet, but my name is Magda Mitre. I was born in Romania. I've been in UK for 30 years. Yeah, I couldn't speak a word of English, so that was quite a journey. But you know, determination does pay off in the end, with all the ups and downs and the rainy days. I learned, I will say 23 years ago, a little bit about how to put my money work for me, but not as much as since I've been involved with NEEW. In fact, it was the transport technology in 2016. There again was a journey since up to these days. Yes, I can tell you from experience that as an entrepreneur, I'm a translator, interpreter. I won't say I look for work, because after 21 years experience, I already work with the councils, agencies, and all kind in my profession. But I must say that that didn't stop me to look for something more stable. I mean, investment was something I always enjoyed doing, all the research and the I would say being a bit of a risk taker, I like the journey, and I really enjoyed my journey. Now, since 2016, it's been a totally different path. I think what I learned as a master profi, it's very different than what I knew. Not that I didn't count what I knew, but it helped me to become a private investor with a lot more confidence. And I will say, even so the journey won't stop here, it helped me a lot to help others to get on the path of financial freedom. That's my aim, to open people's eyes to a different way of finances. So that, I will say, another kind of journey, not just working and working every day, but to put their money work for them. So this is my aim. The more I teach others, the better I feel that I know I will leave something behind, and you know, they can teach others with the same passion I have. That's all about me. Let's start. Right. We in a new economic evolution of the world, we have 20 sectors in the investment market. Now, under the umbrella of NEEW, and crypto, which Jacqueline was talking about early on, we are co-owners. Yeah? No, we are not just investors, we are co-owners of different sectors, from education to crowd investing, to space industry, to precious and semi-precious metals and stones and culture and science. All that are sectors in investment under one umbrella called portfolio. Yeah, so our portfolio has been really extended in the last year, and it's more, which my colleague Gail will talk about it, as new sector which been added, or assets which have been added recently, and I'm pretty sure you will be very excited about it. So these 20 sectors we talk about, they are our sectors. We are co-owners of extended portfolio, and this portfolio is what means to get not just financial education, but financial freedom also. Next slide, please. So our global CryptoUnit program, as Gail was mentioned earlier, it's over 150 countries, and underneath, it doesn't matter where you come from, you can benefit of of the opportunity we can offer. So sectors like sushi master or gold mining, something I like to talk about is a basal technology, or a transport industry, transport technology, or film industry. This is, I will say, sectors with a huge potential, and each one will bring a certain kind of benefit. Let's say basalt, which I know more about it since I lived in Romania, because my ex-communist president, Paul Ceausescu, was using since 1984 in construction industry, because he built the second biggest building in the world after Pentagon, where he used 1,000 tons of basalt. That was in 1984. Why? Because Basalt, it's you may not know, but it's a volcanic lava with a lot of minerals in it. But it's like a sponge. It will absorb the carbon dioxide and will give more breathing, like oxygen in the atmosphere. So our innovative basalt technology is built on this principle. So there is no sector in the world, very unlikely actually to be any sector in the world where you cannot use it. Yeah, from space industry to construction industry, even agriculture. You may not know, but powder of basalt can be spread over crops, and because it has so much minerals in it, can actually give you a better production, yeah, better crops. As rain will fall, all these minerals will enrich the land, the earth. So farming industry can only benefit from it. But let's look at this bottle, yeah? You know, the pollution is one of the biggest issues in the world, not just in certain countries. So imagine this bottle will be one day made of basalt fiber. Why? Because it's not toxic, it's recyclable, no energy consumption to make it. Anything from any from construction to, as I said, space industry can be used there. It's $1 trillion market. So watch your space. You will see how much basalt can change the world, and how much us as co-owners of this technology, 50% of it actually, can change our us financially and generations to come. So is the gold mining. I mean, gold has been in the world not just for exchange goods, but you know, and it's not just for women or jewelries. It's a kind of material which is always there in import export, in how can I put, in different businesses. Even countries have like let's say Bank of England, you know, and will always be there. The price for gold these days hit the roof, so we must be very lucky in a way to have mining facilities in Tanzania and Ghana, and so is in Russia, where my understanding is that we were 50-50 with the Russian government. So yes, the gold mining, it's another liquidity in near future. And so is the transport technology, because I wouldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't for me knowing about the transport technology in 2016. This is what actually opened my eyes first, and I saw the potential, and from there, you know, our assets have increased, and so the portfolio. So yeah, we are getting stronger and stronger, and it's for the benefit of all of us. Next slide, please, Jacqueline. So what does the CryptoUnit program provide? Co-ownership of the Crew global portfolio. It's a monthly loyalty program, bonuses, opportunity to receive profit bonus, regulated and transparent financing, Crew value growth due to increase in assets. Remember, I mentioned that earlier, that the higher the value for each asset, the better for us as co-owners. and also possibility of circulation of crew in global merchandising. Next slide, please. So if we think of it step by step, what actually the Academy of Private Investor does is to open your eyes and to give you, the opportunity to make a free registration, to become a member of the VIP club and receive bonuses. Now, here I have to say, as a VIP club member, you really have benefit, and that would, if I start with the fact that you can get your staking from your investment, later on do external exchange as well, benefits specifically for those who are VIP members, and something which in the future we'll talk a lot more about is data mining, or the double data and other assets which will be added to our portfolio exclusively for VIP members. So I would like to tell you that when you look at the packages, at what each package offer you, then do choose the right EIP package suitable for you, and also take action. Once you do that, then make sure you get the right advice, and those who open your eyes to it, let's call it sponsor, will be the one who will help you to become successful. Next slide, please. So question is now, would you like to earn by learning? If the answer is yes, then let me show you how you can do that. So what's the difference of multi-level crowd investing and business itself as a multi-level, yeah, MLM? First, in MLM, which I know for a good few years, you have access, training is accessible, or you have a home business, you are your own boss, or you can work from home, and it's not limited revenue. But in the same time, in investment business, investment consulting training, it's really second to none. Don't forget that on top of these investment instruments you have, you are also a co-owner. That makes a huge difference, because you can be a co-owner in network marketing because it doesn't belong to you. In our case, you co-own all the assets. So the portfolio I've been talking about, you are actually a co-owner of it. So we'll give you the opportunity to increase your capital, asset management, and also opportunities to increase your assets from $1 million to 24 months. But this is down to the individual, yeah? And it's a prestige, because being a VIP member, believe me, it's not there for everyone. You really have to be very proud if you are one of them, and that will definitely give you a prestige. Next slide, please. So let's look at what we have achieved since 2014. Yeah, over 750,000 active partners worldwide. I can say we are a lot more than that. Our business operates in over 175 countries. We have achieved 71 presidents in rank, as a rank. So they all started like me and you. So there is no jump to the president position. So each one worked hard to get there. We also speak in our company 11 languages. You can see it's over $1 million paid into networkers as a bonus. And we also achieve 1,400,000 actually registration the last 5 years. And yeah, it's probably more than one registration at every 2 minutes. More stories to tell. Now, obviously I can choose a few of them there because I know most of them, more or less, you know, some just to say hello and I've been introduced to, and others which I know for many years. But what made them stay in this stories of success, on the story of success page, it's, let's say, their achievement. But that achievement can be achieved by anyone, yeah? So I can say congratulations to them all because they really worked hard by helping others. But remember, next you can be, it can be your picture there, not just their picture. Next slide, please. And again, more photos of success. Yeah. So advantages of being part of the multi-level crowd investing business. Oops.
Sorry, Magda.
That's okay. So you can have a
sorry, Magda. Okay.
You can have a business from home and be your own boss. That can tell you a lot, isn't it? No one to tell you how to work, when to work, why to work. Start your international business. Don't forget, in the slide before I said we are in 175 countries already. So there is no limit of your potential. And remember, only then you can put a smile on someone's face by sharing the opportunity. It's an unlimited earning potential. Multiple income streams, which Jacqueline was telling you earlier. Unique business model. Well, we are unique because I don't think I heard of any other crypto unit to be backed up by assets. Have you? And it's also massive leverage across the entire network. Well, what can be better? Next, okay. So how can you become part of our project? Again, it's a registration system, which is very easy and straightforward for everyone. Get verified. Why? Because you are a co-owner of this in this project. Yeah, this is your future, and you can leave it as a legacy. So you need to be verified to make sure you are the person who will hold the assets, and you can pass it to the next generation. Now, after that, you can participate in all these projects and get involved, and the more you get involved, the better financially, and implement what you learned. Yeah, there is no limit. No one will tell you should know up to here. The rest is for vice presidents and president. Everyone has access to all the information as long as you want it to. Next slide, please. Well, here comes another present. So until the 23rd of, not 23rd, 28th, isn't it?
I think the date changed. I haven't got the date on.
Okay, don't worry. Yes. I think it's another week, and it's not 300 crew, it's 250.
250, yes, 250.
Okay.
Hmm.
So as you can see, the company is very generous because they want each individual, each new partner, to get a gift to remember the day they joined and to say, wow, I started with the right foot. So another 250 crew will be issued to everyone who is registered, become a VIP member. Remember what Jacqueline said, it's $10. If you are in the UK, that means it's about $8, register, £8, sorry, if I think in English pounds. And yes, please do ask the person who invited you to show you how you can do that, to become a VIP member. Then so far, every Tuesday and every Thursday, we have these webinars. And if there will be any changes, we will definitely let you know in advance. Next slide, please. Well, this is the part I like, because we have a mission. You know, look at it from the point of view that we want to do something in this world. It's not just us. It's what we can do together to change it for the better, you know. By having a global distribution of this wealth, security and protection is by helping others to get prosperity and happiness. And by helping them to realize their dream, you will really realize yours. Because if you have a dream and you hold it tight, you will achieve it. And I can tell you from my experience, it's only a matter of time, but it also only depends on you, whether it will be sooner or later. But the way the world goes, I don't have to stop to tell you, because you know already all this chaos and God knows what is to come. If we don't stick together, if we don't help others, if we don't do something to make a redistribution of the wealth in the world, it will be tough. Yeah, you know, you are grown-up partners or people, so I'm pretty sure each and every one of you know that things have changed a lot in the world. So it's down to us to, you know, to stick to our mission, and this, the new economic evolution of the world, really to make a change in the world. Jacqueline, next slide. So we've been talking about what we can do and how we can do it. But let's look back. What are actually the three pillars? We talk about education, co-ownership, and business. You see, it's a different type of education. I'm pretty sure you've been to school, and I've been too, but no one taught me about financial education, because obviously you have to be employed and to work for others. In my case, as I lived in Romania, I was working for the state, Ceausescu and the rest. So there was no way I could have learned about financial education, financial freedom, and that kind of stuff, which I was so hungry when I came over to know more and more. Because education in financial field it's something so different. Only that will put you on the right direction and to live your life the way you would like it to. Yeah, because learning that, you will know what means to be a co-owner, what co-ownership means, how you can get there, what you need to know to get there, the risk you take, but also how the you know, achievements can be so sweet, and how you can do business together. Because once you have the right education and you understand what means to be a co-owner, you will share that opportunity. Share it with those around who are open-minded, who will understand the link between education and co-ownership. The more they learn, the more you share, the better the business for all of you. Next slide, please. So if I look at this presidential council page, I can say that I know all of them. I spoke to a couple of exceptions with each one of them. I met Armand. Actually, he was the one who was very much often in an office in London, but so was Mila as my upline. But you see, when you look at them, because I'm sure if you remember the stories of success, they all have that passion and driven to achieve, not specifically to be on the list, is to help others to achieve their dream. So Armand has his own stories. So is Dragoș Stanciu, who was born in Romania but left Romania when he was 3 years of age and lives in Italy. So it's Andrew Hawkes. But none of us could have, or none of them could have achieved those levels without our CEO Andrei, because he is the visionary man who hit the rock bottom and he stood up again and never said never, who always been very driven and giving 100% to those who really want to achieve their dreams as well. So I can say thank you to him for giving us this opportunity, and as much I can say thank you to you for listening. Next slide, please, Jacqueline. So what will be your decision? Now, you either leave everything as it is and you'll say thank you to me, Jacqueline, for presenting this opportunity. Or, and the second thought, you will say, well, this financial and investment education, this multiple source of passive income, having been part of like-minded community, the ability to create assets and to leave a legacy, you may give a second thought. So you will say, I come on board, but the decision is yours. Make sure you make the right decision. Okay, next slide, please, or is the last one, Jacqueline?
That's the last one.
That's the last one.
Yeah.
So I will say thank you for listening to me, to Jacqueline, and I will pass now the floor to my colleague, also Vice President Gail. She will share with you something new, very exciting, and I leave that to her to tell you more about it. I will not disclose any more things. So
Gail, just stop sharing.
No pressure.
I'm going to stop sharing, Gail. Yeah.
Yes, I'll start sharing. Sorry.
There you go.
Right. Can everybody see my screen?
Not this. Okay.
Yes.
It's
yes.
on now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Right. Thank you very much to Jacqueline, and thank you very much as well to Magda. Great presentation and explained the business really, really well. When Magda was talking, she was talking about the portfolio, the asset classes, and how we are co-owners in that through the CryptoUnit program. And normally we do some training at the end of the presentations on Tuesday and Thursday, which are financial trainings. Well, we're going to have something slightly different tonight, because we're going to look at one of the products that we have just got our hands on, and we are co-owners of this. Okay, so not only can we use this as a tool, but we can also be very proud that we're co-owners in this company. Okay, so this is part of our portfolio that I'm going to share with you tonight. So before I do that, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm not going to go, some of you may know me already, so I'm not going to go into great detail. I'm just going to explain to you, I'm a vice president within the company, a member of the UK Local Leadership Council. I work online, I'm a marketer and networker, I'm an educator, cryptocurrency enthusiast, I love my crypto, and I'm also a global investment portfolio co-owner. My background is in the financial services industry, where I've been most of my working life. And I've done that both as an employed and self-employed person, so I can relate totally to what Jacqueline was talking about. And I've also been in the quadrant of business as well, because I had my own business. And I have to say and hold my hands up, but none of them really earned me a lot of money. Okay, so you know, as a financial advisor, I'd go out speaking to other people, and it was about time I started to look what I could do and build up my own portfolio. And when I saw was introduced to NEEW, when I saw the portfolio, that is the thing that inspired me. That's the thing I thought, wow, there is nothing like this out here, and there's no way in the memory of man I would normally be able to be part of, and certainly not a co-owner of anything like that. So that is how I got involved with this, just very, very briefly. So first of all, I'd like to just ask you a couple of questions. Okay, so you feel free to pop in the chat. Okay, so the first one is, have you ever struggled to find enough people to talk to? When you've been working online, have you ever struggled to find those people who you need to talk to? If you have, put a yes. If you've not, put a no in the box, the chat box. Okay. The other question is, are you not sure how to break the ice and to build up a conversation? Okay, do you know what to say to people when you actually get somebody to talk to? And a really important one, bear in mind, I've been working online a number of years. Okay, so I've been exactly, I can answer yes, definitely, to the first two. And I can even answer yes to the third one as well, which is, have you ever struggled to recruit or build a team before? And I think you'll find that the answer is, again, is going to be yes for most people. Now, we've got our hands on something that can only be purchased through being a VIP member through NEEW. And that's called Digital Doubles. And this is going to do all the above for you. Now, it does involve some human interaction as well at the end, or I'm going to explain to you how the process will work as we go along. So I just think it's important to realize what a fantastic, we might not have realized it yet, but this is going to be something that everybody is going to want. Okay, if anybody's a network marketer out there, they're going to love this. Okay, so what is it and what is Digital Doubles? So Digital Doubles is an artificial intelligence. And at the moment, we have a vast array of social media outlets where we can actually talk to people and connect with people. And it's huge. You know, there's something like 6.8 billion people who use various forms of social media. And we know the usual ones: Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, TikTok, Talk, in other countries, VK, CB, absolutely huge. WeChat, you know, with lots and lots of different methods of communicating with people via social media. And it's a massive industry, and it's a massive area where most businesses these days want to promote their businesses and want to promote their goods as well. Okay, as well as it being a media for actually socializing with people. most people have 2 or 3 different accounts in social media. And, you know, if you have 2 or 3 different accounts, you know, you've got the ability to have around about 15,000 friends. Okay, so that's in general. LinkedIn's slightly different. You're allowed more in LinkedIn, but in, you know, on some of the others, you are limited to how many friends that you can actually have. But most people have multiple accounts. So exactly what is Digital Doubles? Digital Doubles is the name of the company, and what it does is data mining. So what is data mining? Data mining is exactly what it says. You're mining data. In this instance, we're mining people, okay, who all will have information that can be shared either with other social media sites or other companies on their interests and what they like to do. Okay, so data mining is something that is quite new. It's been done before, don't get me wrong, data mining has been done before, but what we're doing is slightly different to what other companies have done with data mining. Okay, so data mining is about a collection of people. So for example, mining, you have miners. So anybody who's been involved with cryptocurrency will have heard the terminology about mining. So you're mining Bitcoin, you're mining Ethereum, you're mining Doge, you're mining whatever coin is out there. Okay, with this you're mining data, you're mining people. So we're planning to have 100,000 miners, and those miners can manage around about 1.5 billion people and more. So 500,000, if we up the scale to 500,000 in the future, we could actually manage the entire humankind. Okay, so you can see that we don't need an awful lot of people and an awful lot of miners to collect the data that we're going to collect as a company. Okay, so that's one way with the mining that we have the potential to actually earn an income, and I'm going to share with you in a bit why that is and how we can do that in a second. So who are the sort of people who are going to love this? The people who promote any business, whether that be a offline or online business. Anybody who's a self-employed entrepreneur, salespeople, sales managers, freelancers, designers, copywriters, translators, private tutors, bloggers, and even public personalities. Because what everybody is trying to do on social media is drive people, data, to their accounts, whether that's to talk to them, whether that's to show what they sell, whether that is to offer them a business, or whether that is to just find people, okay? Bloggers and public personalities want people to look what they're doing. It's like a race these days to how many contacts that you can have, you know, especially on, you know, the social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, you know, how many friends have you got? That's the first thing that most people ask. Okay, so not only is it for us ourselves, but it's for our business, but it's for anybody out there as well. Okay, but the only way that they can be part of this is to be a VIP member and co-owner in our global portfolio, which is absolutely fantastic. Normally it can be quite expensive as well if you have somebody promoting your account for you, and a freelancer would charge anything from $150 and a marketing agency from about $400 a month to run your account for you. So it can be costly, and a lot of businesses do use this already, but it can be a costly expense, although it can be very worthwhile. Okay, so what will the digital double do for them? Okay, because remember, we spoke about digital doubles is an artificial intelligence. So an artificial intelligence you know, don't be scared of it, because I know when I first heard the artificial intelligence, I kept thinking of all these space programs, and you know, I didn't quite understand what it was all about. And so I thought, right, I'm just going to have a little look and see what it's all about. So what is it? The theory and development of a computer system which is able to perform tasks normally requiring human intelligence. Okay, so it's normally something we would do using our intelligence, and we would be using our visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translating between languages as well. So that is what a person could do. Well, an artificial intelligence can do and be trained to do exactly the same sort of thing. So digital doubles rapidly accelerate any sales funnel, and a lot of companies out there and a lot of entrepreneurs, you know, a sales funnel is something that drives business to your business, drives people to your business, because without people we don't have a business. Without people, you know, there's no product sold. Okay, so this day and age, when a lot of companies, you know, are closing down on the high streets, will be moving over to online if they're able to. And even when what we've seen in the last couple of months, where businesses, you know, office workers are actually working from home, you know, they're more likely to be actually looking at things online, or they're wanting to work online as well. So the digital double will start a conversation with the thousands, tens of thousands, and hundreds of thousands of people in social media, and it makes friends, makes acquaintances. It talks and it offers how it can help people in a very, very subtle way. Okay, they can even look for investors for your projects. They can sell and buy goods or services. They can find employees or business partners, and they can motivate your team to always be in touch. This is what artificial intelligence and digital doubles does. They can actually talk to people for you who contact you before you actually engage with them personally. Now, they never sleep, they never take a holiday, they never ask for a raise, and while you sleep and rest and socialize, they work, excuse me everyone, and make money for you. Okay, so that is what a digital double does. It's a copy of you, but it's done on an automatic artificial intelligence level. Okay, which is really, really exciting. I mean, when I first saw this, totally didn't understand it. Now I absolutely love it. And I'm going to give you just an indication of some of the results I've had with it over the last week or so. So data mining, how does that work? So every network participant or miner can connect any of the social media networks depending on the type of package that you choose. Okay, and the social media of the immediate environment gets attached to the AI server. And then we start to create the digital doubles of your identity. So it will start to recognize the sorts of things that you like, the sorts of things that you do on your social media. And the first one that we're starting with is LinkedIn. Okay, because that is a more business focused form of social media. And it'll also be able to add friends and talks to tens of thousands of users across the world. And it will then create what we call a mega brain. So if you can imagine 100,000 miners who all have a number of people, data, which is connected to their accounts, it will then go to what we call a mega brain. And it will then be under the control of our artificial intelligence. Okay. And what are you going to get? You're going to be able to earn a residual income, okay? And you'll be able to earn a residual income from not you going out at this point and selling anything to anybody. So don't get panicky. Don't think you've got to start selling anything you don't, okay? Digital doubles will offer their digital products and services to all these people across the world. They will be talking to them, as in the artificial intelligence will be talking to them, will be liaising with them, okay, because it's all under the control of what we call the mega brain, and there's hundreds of millions of prospective clients. And with one click, they can learn about our products, our goods, our services, and they can become clients of digital doubles and pay them money, okay? Now, digital doubles will share the profits with all the miners. So they will share, I think, don't correct me on the percentage, but I'm sure I heard it was going to be 80% would go to the miners and 20% will go to the digital doubles company. And NEW, because we are 50-50 owners in the company, okay? So in that instance, the profits will go to the miners. So anything that's sold, the profits of that go to the miners and they're split. So if you have an account that has or a few accounts, 2 or 3 accounts, and you have, say, 40,000 people data on your account, okay, then you will earn a percentage relevant to how many people that you've got and drive into that account. Okay, so every miner is always going to earn as long as they stay in the project. So as long as you're a VIP member and you pay your membership, as long as you're within NEW, you're going to be a participant in this. Okay, and on top of that, in the future, now this isn't now because we have to build up. It's like you know, we're going back to the old seed, aren't we? You know, where you've got to build something up, you've got to water it, you've got to look after it. But ultimately, okay, we will be doing the sale of analytic data, because one of the things that the artificial intelligence does, it will gather information. So social media contains billions and billions of data, and that's increasing every day as we speak. And researchers, profit organisations, advertisers will take an interest in all the statistic about people's preferences, what they like to do, what they eat, where they go, okay? And social media currently sell all that information in an ad view. And they don't give access to the source data, which is they think's their own, okay? But our mining farms will set up, which are set up by our digital doubles, collect all the necessary information about the users, and then we receive part of the profits for each commercial sale of any analytic data across all the social medias in all the world. Okay, so the potential for this is huge. And right at the beginning, I did explain that this is part of our global portfolio as well. So profits from this will also be going into the portfolio. So not we won't only be receiving them as a data miner, but we will also be receiving through the portfolio as well. And as that builds up over time and as it increases, it's going to be huge. So the cost, right? And this is what astounded me. Okay, because the cost is really, really low cost, and I just couldn't believe it. And at the moment, there is an offer on. So the business one is now $150 for a short period of time. Okay, and why the business one? Most people will want this because it's got unlimited number of social medias that you can attach to. You can have some family members as well as a miner, so your husband, your daughter your son might be in the house. They can also, you can attach the one license to them, so that's building up the data even more that's going to be attached. There's a maximum number of friends for each social media in each account, and the maximum friend making speed. Okay, so in other words, if you go for the lower end packages, it's average speed of receiving people. If you go for the middle one, again, it's average. But if you go for the higher one, which at the moment is only $150, then that gives you a higher percentage of friends. And you will also get priority ad views in the miner's account. So it's definitely worth looking at the business one, although people can start off with the basic package and then decide to go to that one when it does go back to $250, or they can do the family one, which is actually limited to up to 5,000 friends, as is the basic package as well. And that is not a monthly payment. So we've spoke before about monthly payments. This is a one-off lifetime payment. So as long as you're a member of NEW and you pay your membership, your VIP membership, you know, you're a you continue with this as well. So absolutely fantastic, and a great way to be able to talk to people, because don't forget, what's going to happen is people are going to be directed to you into your LinkedIn accounts. And like myself, I didn't really use LinkedIn. I've always done Facebook. I've always enjoyed Facebook. I don't quite understand TikTok, but it's something I've obviously got to learn about, because my grandchildren tell me I've got to learn about it. But LinkedIn, and it was something I just never used. You know, I had a LinkedIn account, because I sort of, when I was a financial advisor many years ago, I set it up, but I never used it. I didn't understand it, to be perfectly honest. So when I started looking at LinkedIn, I think I already had about 500 contacts. Okay, now that was just over a week ago. I had 500 contacts. Right, today I've got about 590 contacts. Okay, so 500 contacts. It took me a good 10 years to build up 500 contacts, because I didn't use it much, and I had to find those contacts. This has been set up, and I've now got 90 contacts in a week. Okay, in just over a week, who are ready for me to start having conversations with, if I choose to. Now, am I going to want to have a conversation with some of these people? Have I got a business that I would love to speak to them about? Have I got something now that will help them, for them to get people to speak to? Yes. And the only way that they can do that is by becoming a member of NEW. So it's a win-win situation. Or we're going to be releasing these different stages, because remember, at first I said to you, the digital doubles will also talk to people, have conversations with people on your behalf. Now that is not happening for another couple of months, because we need to build the data up. We need the clients there, we need them sat there. So they're contacting, they're our contacts now, and we can go in and they may want to talk to us, and we can talk to them. Nothing's stopping us talking to them, okay, as we stand. But some people might not feel comfortable talking to people. So in a couple of months, when the data is in, then the digital doubles part, where it starts talking to people, will be available. Okay, so in a couple of months, for those who don't want to really talk to people, who don't feel comfortable, they can be building up their the amount of people in there, and then the digital doubles is going to start taking over and having conversations. So it's having conversations, and we will train them to do that, because it's going to be a clone of you. So because it's an artificial intelligence, it has to learn, and what better way to learn than off yourself? So we will be helping people with scripts and what to say and how to build that up, and we will get more information how that's going to be done in the next in the coming weeks. Okay, but for now we're data mining, but you do have the ability to actually start talking to these people on LinkedIn. I've started talking to people on LinkedIn. People are starting to say, wow, you know, what is it you do? And the great thing is, when I'm actually saying, well, I've got something, you know, do you find it difficult getting people, talking to people? Everybody's saying, well, yeah, it's hard work. It takes a lot of time. I have to sit at my computer, you know, and I'm busy already. I've got a busy life and I'm trying to run a business. You know, well, actually, I've got something that'll do that for you. But you need to be a member of a VIP club, and you need to be a member of NEW. And then I invite them to come on to a presentation for NEW. Okay, and that way, not only are we building our new business, but we're also building the portfolio. Okay, and we're also building the amount of people who are now data mining. We're data mining them. Okay, so that is they're going to become part of the mega brain. So absolutely fantastic. And the brainchild of these of digital doubles is two gentlemen. The team is Alexander Neymark and Dimitri I can't say his name, sorry, Dimitri, I'll just call him Dimitri. Okay, Alexander is the CEO of Digital Doubles. He's the Chief Product Officer. He's Futurology AI Chief Executive Officer. He's got ties with Decentralized Database, and he's Chief Executive Officer of Crawley Account Aggregation as well. Dimitri, he's Vice President of Digital Doubles, and he's the Chief Sales Officer, specializes in building partnership sales. He's a blockchain and crypto specialist as well. Okay, and they have partnered up with NEEW, and we have, you know, this is what we do. So just to sort of have a recap, you know, what we do is if we see a good opportunity comes into our portfolio or gets shared to our portfolio, and that we have a look at it, we see what the viability of it is, and then we will start to invest in it. Okay, and as we invest in it, we take co-ownership of it. We never take them over completely because that's not our style. You know, Warren Buffett, he's the one who goes out and just buys companies who are failing. We don't. What we do is we help those companies and we help them, but at the same time, we help our portfolio and it helps us as co-owners of that portfolio as well. So, you know, it's something, if you're a member already and you're not in Digital Doubles, seriously have another look at it. Okay, get back to your sponsor. There's lots of videos on the official YouTube channels as well, and they were actually, these gentlemen and Digital Doubles was actually featured in Forbes magazine, and it was Meet the Russian Bot Man who wants to clone your sales force. Okay, so basically this is their sales force. For a lot of companies out there, this isn't just for us, for online people and entrepreneurs. This is for any business. So start talking to people who you know have got business as well. This is going to blow their sales figures apart. Okay, and it's a numbers game. We all know everything's a numbers game. So thank you very much. I've managed to talk only for half an hour, which is probably quite a feat for me because I can talk for England. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening. I hope the presentation that Jacqueline and Magda did has helped you enormously, and I hope you've now got an understanding of what we've actually got our hands on with Digital Doubles. Okay, so thank you very much, and we will see you all on Thursday. We may have Blaze and I think Mo may be doing the presentation on Thursday. I don't know whether Magda, you're doing it Thursday as well. And we will see you all next week. So thank you very much and good night.
Good night.